After persuading several of the players to join him in a revolt, Jihun watches in horror as his friend Young Bae and all the other rebels are wiped out without mercy. But not all of the defeated are killed. The guards intentionally leave a few alive. The reason? Their organs are to be harvested and sold on the black market. Later that day, the players who didn't participate in the rebellion receive a mysterious gift. It's a coffin, and they open it. To their shock, Jihun is inside still alive. As he slowly regains consciousness, he realizes that none of the others who joined him in the uprising have come back. It becomes clear to him the leader allowed him to live solely to witness the punishment for his actions. That night, the total number of eliminated players is revealed, 35 gone in a single game. With each death, more money is added to the grand prize. The vault now swells with cash, and the remaining 60 players are once again given the choice: leave or move on to the next game. Despite the trauma of the previous bloodbath, 41 choose to stay. Many of those who were against continuing had died in the rebellion, which has now shifted the balance. The majority now crave the prize more than ever. It's willing to go to any length to win it. Meanwhile, not every rebel has been lost. No-All manages to save Jong So, who had also taken part in the revolt. Instead of executing him, she shoots him non-lethally and whispers for him to play dead if he wants a chance at survival. She then presents him as a corpse to the organ dealers, buying him time. Later, she convinces guard number 7 to escort her to the surgery room, pretending to be interested in the operation, but it's all a setup. Once inside, No-All pulls out her weapon and turns on the criminals, holding everyone at gunpoint. Before the doctor can begin cutting into Jong So, she stops the procedure. Guard number 7 fights back and briefly gains the upper hand, stealing her weapon, but No-All doesn't go down easily. She grabs her secondary weapon and eliminates everyone in the room except the surgeon. She needs him alive to save Jong So. After saving Jong So, No-All threatens the surgeon. If he doesn't fix the damage done, she end him. Terrified, he agrees and begins the operation. Meanwhile, back in the game facility, something strange happens. The player named Soo-hee is taken from the main dormitory and brought into a private room. There, she's greeted by the leader, the masked man who runs the deadly games. He offers her a seat and calmly begins asking her questions. At first, she's defiant, but as the conversation unfolds, she realizes this is no ordinary interrogation. The leader already knows her secret. Years ago, Soo-hee was part of the organization that created these twisted games. She worked in a research division that studied human behavior, suffering, and obedience under pressure. But something about the cruelty became too much for her. She tried to escape and expose the project. Unfortunately, she was caught. Her punishment is being thrown into the very games she helped design. The leader now presents her with a choice. She can continue as a player or return to her old role, this time with more power and less mercy. Shocked and shaken, Soo-hee doesn't answer. The leader tells her to think it over. Back in the dorm, the remaining players are on edge. Jihun sits alone, haunted by the deaths of his friends. No-All secretly returns, exhausted and wounded, and finds a hidden spot to rest. Jong So is alive, but still unconscious. Only she knows what she had to do to save him. Then comes the next game. This time, the players are brought into a massive dome-shaped arena. In the center, a giant machine rotates with multiple metal arms extending from it. The rules are simple but brutal. Players must stay within the marked area and dodge the swinging arms. If they're hit, they're out. Permanently, the game begins and chaos erupts. The arms start slowly but speed up every minute. Players run, jump, crawl, doing everything they can to survive. But the machine doesn't stop. By one, people are struck and fall to the ground. It's eliminated on the spot. Jihun narrowly avoids several close calls, his instincts keeping him alive. No-All joins the game, pretending she was never gone. She fights like someone with nothing to lose. Even. Soo-hee, silent and unreadable, shows agility and determination in the end. Only 29 players survive the brutal challenge. Uneasy alliances and a dangerous mission after. the deadly arena challenge. The surviving 29 players return to the dormitory breathless, bruised, and paranoid. Trust is fading fast. Everyone knows that with each game, the chances of survival shrink. But what they don't know is that something far more sinister is unfolding behind the scenes. Jihun begins to notice odd behavior among a few players. Some of them don't speak much, but they exchange silent glances, as if part of a hidden alliance. One night, he secretly follows two of them when they leave the dorm for bathroom duty. What he discovers shakes him. These players are working with the guards, slipping them notes and receiving unknown supplies in return. It becomes clear not everyone here is playing fair. Some are moles. Jihun decides not to say a word, but the information weighs heavily on him. Meanwhile, Jong So finally wakes up, weak but alive. Noel stays close to him, helping him recover in secret. She tells him the truth about the failed rebellion, the organ dealers, and how close he came to death. He's stunned, grateful, but also scared. He knows that if anyone finds out he's alive, they'll both be punished. Elsewhere, guard number 7, the one Noel spared, is placed under investigation. The leader begins to suspect foul play in the surgery room incident. But with no evidence, and the cameras mysteriously turned off during the attack, he has no choice but to delay judgment. Still, he orders tighter surveillance. Back in the dormitory, Suhee makes her decision. She meets privately with the leader and agrees to take her place once again in the organization. But on one condition, she wants to control the next game. She claims it's part of a psychological experiment she had proposed long ago but was never approved. Intrigued, the leader grants her request. The following morning, a chilling announcement echoes through the facility. The next game will test more than strength or speed. Will test your morality. The players are taken into a room filled with glass booths. Inside each one is another player, someone they've formed a connection with. Friends, allies, even rivals. If neither chooses, both will die. Panic spreads instantly. Jihun finds himself paired with a younger player he had protected in earlier games. The boy looks up to him like a brother. Now Jihun must either betray him or die. Time ticks away. Some players beg. Others manipulate. A few remain silent, accepting their fate. One booth explodes. Both players refuse to choose. The message is clear. Make a choice, or face the consequences. Inside the glass booth, Jihun is frozen. The boy across from him, barely 18, looks terrified. He whispers, "It's okay. You saved me before. I don't want you to die." Jihun shakes his head, torn between guilt and fear. "No, I can't. I can't do this." The countdown blares overhead to 30 seconds remaining. The boy reaches toward the button in front of him. "Let me make the choice. I want it to mean something." But Jihun suddenly lunges, slamming his hand down on his own button. A sharp buzz echoes. His booth goes dark. He collapses to the floor in tears as the boy in the other booth falls unconscious, eliminated instantly across the facility. Chaos unfolds. Some players lie. Others pretend to give mercy. A few laugh maniacally as they push their buttons without hesitation. But no All and Jong So face an even harder trial. They are paired with each other. When they realize this, their eyes lock. The bond between them, built through pain, trust, and survival, now becomes their biggest weakness. Noel says nothing. Jong So quietly walks to his corner. Neither of them speaks. The clock starts. 1 minute, Jong. Jong So lowers his head and whispers, "You've done enough for me. If someone has to live, it's you." Noel shakes her head, tears streaming down. Her face? We can figure it out. Jong So rushes forward and smashes the emergency override, a hidden switch he found in a prior game. The room shakes, lights flicker, and both booths power down. Guards storm in. The leader is furious, but instead of executing them, he smiles. "Well played," he says. "You found a loophole." But they both know there's a price to pay. That Night Suhi watches the footage. She's impressed by their loyalty, but she's also worried. Players who think too much, who care too much, become dangerous. She makes a note to herself. Keep an eye on Noel and Jong So. Possible threats. Meanwhile, the leader prepares the next stage, a game so twisted it will change everything. Betrayals and broken bonds, only 18 players remain. The games have grown darker. Morality is fading. Those who survive now do so by lying, stealing, even killing. But something shifts when the players are led into a vast warehouse, this time not for a game, but for a vote. A masked guard announces, "You will now decide. Who among you is the least worthy of survival?" Each player must write down the name of someone they believe doesn't deserve to continue. The person with the most votes will be executed on the spot. Panic spreads. Paranoia sets in. Old friendships begin to crumble. Jihun votes for a woman who once betrayed her team. She, in turn, votes for him. Noel looks around nervously. Jong So urges her to vote for someone neither of them knows. But then, shocking twist, the person with the second highest votes is also executed. Gasps echo through the room. Everyone realizes even alliances can't protect them now. All it takes is one misplaced name, one wrong guess, and you're dead. 2 players are eliminated, but worse than death, it's the silence that follows. No one speaks. No one trusts. No one sleeps that night. Meanwhile, inside the control room, the leader and Suhi debate. She argues that the games are spiraling out of control, losing their original purpose. The leader disagrees. He believes true nature reveals itself. Under pressure, this is when the experiment gets interesting. But Suhi isn't convinced. She begins sneaking files, watching certain players more closely, especially Jihun, Noel, and Jong So. Something about them feels different, resistant, hopeful, and hope is dangerous. The last game, only 6 players remain. Jihun, Noel, Jong So, and 3 others who have clawed their way to the top through betrayal and blood. The final room is vast, cold, and silent. In the center, a single red button. A voice echoes, "This is your last choice. If one of you presses the button, they will be set free alone. The rest will die. But if no one presses the button in the next 10 minutes, all of you go free." The air turns heavy. Jihun stares at the button. His hands tremble. No, all whispers. It's a lie. It has to be. But Jong? So he takes a step back. Maybe this is the test. Maybe this was the game all along. The others begin to argue. One man lunges toward the button, only to be tackled by Jihun. "Stop. You don't know what you're doing," another woman screams. "We didn't come all this way to die together. Time is ticking." 7 minutes. 6. Noel turns to the group. "What if we just trust each other?" Silence. Then Jong So says, "I believe her." One by one, they step away from the button. Everyone, except the last remaining man, a ruthless player named Min. He grins. "You're all fools." He sprints forward, but just before he reaches it, Jong So dives and slams him to the ground. A brutal fight breaks out. Fists fly. Blood spills. Finally, Min is knocked unconscious. Only seconds remain. They all hold their breath. 3, 2, 1. The voice returns. "You have chosen wisely." The walls slide open. Sunlight pours in for the first time in weeks. The survivors collapse in disbelief, alive. Free, but freedom comes with a cost. They step outside, see rows of cameras, reporters, guards, and Suhi. Waiting, she walks up to them and whispers, "You weren't supposed to make it." But maybe that's the point. The screen fades to black. Survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about staying human,